All right, welcome back everyone to today's video. So today we're going to be talking about something that's very important, and that is banking, your business account, or a business banking account, or an account for your business, however you want to look at it. So I know we've been going through the process, and now it's time for you to select or try to find a bank that's going to you're going to use for your business. Now I've drafted up a list here, and I'm using this from NerdWallet. No, um, they have a pretty good list of like the eight best banks to start up for 2024. Not sure when this was published. Seems like it was updated as of March 29, 2023. So it's not that old. But I do agree with some of the banks, the top picks. So for example, Blue Vine is not a bad bank. If you can get them to approve you, um, it's a good bank that you can use for a good startup. Along with Grasshopper, I've tried for Grasshopper before, and for some reason my application got, I don't know, lost in the sauce. So I don't really know how. I couldn't give you my opinion on there. I have used US Bank in the past. They're not so bad. Not great or not so friendly when it comes to the interface. For me, I'm a big lover of Chase, so Chase for Business. I would wholeheartedly recommend them. But like I said, you have a list, and if you're starting off, if you go down the list right here, you will see a bunch of them, 5-star rating. But the only caveat is like you got to look at certain things, right? So a monthly fee, if you're starting off, it's probably best that you go with a bank that's not going to be charging you to keep your money in the bank monthly. So, like for example, Chase, you will pay $15 on the, I think like monthly, if you don't have at least a $2,000 minimum balance. So this could be taken multiple ways. It can allow you to like, hey, you need to have at least 2 grand, so you need to be hustling to keep that money in the bank to at least carry that 2 grand balance, or you could end up paying $15 every month. And if you're starting off, $15 every month probably could hit you. So, like I said, you can always start off with a small bank initially when things are getting going, and then you switch over later to a bigger bank. Um, just one thing to note though, make sure that these banks are FDIC insured. Like most of these, they do say they are FDIC, because you don't want to have a bank that is not FDIC insured. Something happens, and then all of a sudden, this bank is in another country somewhere, and they only do online operations, and before you know it, your money is just gone to the wolves. Right? You don't really want that. So always make sure that you check for FDIC insured banks, and then do some research. If the bank is not that popular, before you start off. Like for example, I've never heard of Brex Bank before, so I would really do some research on it. Bank of America, is popular, but also you see they charge a $16 fee, and then it's a little bit more than Chase, 5 grand minimum balance. So these larger banks will have a fee based on what you have going on. So if you're just starting off, find something that is smaller. Like I recommend probably going with Blue Vine. Also, there's another bank that's called Nuvo. So I have personally used them, and I'm gonna go ahead and pull up, show you my application. So I submitted recently for a new application. I'm gonna bring it over here to show you something real cool, and it's still pending. So I've already filled out all this stuff, and it's still pending. Now, something I wanted to bring to your attention. My man Prince Darnell on his video, he talks about when you're setting up your business account, you want to make sure you have multiple accounts, right? And I cold-heartedly agree with this dude. He's speaking like straight facts on that one, right? You don't want to have one account for all of your stuff going in, right? You can set up what's called a reserve, what I'm about to show you real quick, or set up multiple sub accounts or 5 different accounts or whatever. And here's a cool factor about this: you probably could do 5 accounts in 5 different banks for safety. Like you could probably have taxes going to Bank of America, um, your operation account go to somewhere else. Like if that's the way you want to set it up and have it split, hey, more money to you. You have five different banks. But the one thing you don't want is that all of your money going into one pool. And like he described, I recommend that you go out there and watch his videos. It's called the five bank accounts you need for your LLC. Look up Prince Darnell on YouTube. You'll see his channel. Great guy. He's a fond of jumping jack taxes if you need your taxes and stuff done. Shout out to my man. His company will help you out with all that stuff when it comes to banking, finances, and all that stuff. But there's one thing though. Darnell only talked about five accounts, right? If I'm going off the list, he talks about an operating account, a reserve account, taxes account, which the reserve account is like your emergency, like a marketing account, something similar to that, and an innovation account. What I would add to the list is an investment account. And hear me out because you are going to want to, that doesn't sound right. You will later need to try to invest. Or at a later point in time, investment is going to be something that you might be interested in. So if you start out early putting money to the side for investments, when it's time for you to start investing, you have that funds available. So now here's the reason why you need five bank accounts, like my man said, right? You want to make sure that your bank account is separated for tax purposes, but also for anything that happens later, like emergency, and you need to, you know, like for example, COVID happened. You see all these businesses that went under because I'm thinking that maybe when the COVID taught us a lesson, and maybe when this happened and it hit the economy real bad, a lot of folks didn't have the money in reserves to bail themselves out. So if you're just operating on one account and you have money going in, money coming out, money going in, money coming out, if you're invested in cryptocurrency, you're paying all of your customers out of one, your workers out of one, your customer money is coming into one, you do marketing out of the same account, and then you're trying to plan for this and you're buying groceries and food, paying utility bills, your accountant is going to be a nightmare for them. I'm telling you that right now. It's going to be a nightmare because when it comes to time for taxes, it's so hard to separate all that stuff because you're like, man, for the whole year, if you're doing your taxes yearly or if you're doing it quarterly, hopefully quarterly because it's probably easier to work with, you're like, man, there's so much to go through, right? It's a lot. So it's easier if you separate it. Here's why. Operating account. This is your daily account where everything goes into. This is what you do on a daily business. But your taxes, you separate it. You put your taxes like whatever you make, that percentage of that income that you make, put aside a percentage, like my man said. It's only going to benefit you, right? Because then when it comes time for you to pay the taxes, you only have that percentage that came in already sitting into taxes, right? And then you want to put aside another set amount, maybe 10% to your emergency savings. He called it, I think, reserve accounts or something like that, where, hey, if something hits the fan, this is the money that you can use to bail you out. Maybe like you got hit with an inspection fee or something if you're in a restaurant and they came out to be like, yo, you need to clean up this place before you can open up that business. And you're like, wow, like we got to shut down our restaurant for all that. You have an emergency fund where you can dip into to use it. That is the purpose of it, right? And then market it. Something huge like he talked about. If you are out there and you're putting yourself out there building a business and you're not marketing, nobody's going to know you. Nobody's going to find you. So a percentage of that also should go into your marketing. And like I said, for me, I always have a six account with it's called investments. Because if you're going to be doing investments later, what are going to be cash, like whatever you think you want to invest in later, you have that funds there to invest in, right? And then innovation is something that he also went over, which I think is actually clever because you want to think about forward, right? So long term, when you're trying to scale that business, maybe you want to go into the franchise and open up another one somewhere else, so someone is going to buy from you or going to bring in investments or whatever it might be. Hey, man, my man Darnell, hey, shout out to you, brother. That is actually good information, and I will help everyone to read or watch your channel because that is actually some good stuff. All right, so for me, if you take it to another level, we're going to talk about what's called reserves, and that's what I'm showing you on my screen. So when you do a reserve, it's not creating new accounts. It's taking the same account and you kind of splitting it. So basically, you're moving portion of the money over. Nuvo, what I realized, has this concept built in. So when you create a new account and you go in here, like I'm about to show you, you can set up your reserves here on day one when you're actually building your account while it's under review, like what I'm doing right here. Right. So this application just went in and I'm just waiting on it because the business that we're working on, boom, it's this. I'm walking through step by step of how we're building this business. I submitted an application right now to Nuvo and I'm like, wow, as you can see over here on the left hand side, I did all the documentation that they required earlier, waiting for that review. So now we're going to go ahead and get into the reserve. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and say, all right, taxes, right? So taxes is what? I'm going to say, well, it's going to be set aside. Let's go with 10%. I'm going to go with like actually 15%. Ooh. All right, so 15% for tax payments. That's what it's going to be called. I'm going to go ahead and say 15% right here. And that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to save this, right? Uh-oh. So I think this timed out on me. So bear with me. I need to go back in and try to fix this. So let me try to log back in real quick. I think it timed out on me real quick. So let's go back in real quick. All right, back over here. So this is what's gonna happen. Like, and I like the functionality too of Novo. Like for some reason, like you can set up direct deposits instantly and fund your account. You can connect to Stripe. Now Stripe is actually one of those payment gateways that are out there, which I love. With Stripe and Square, um, when I did my business first starting off, actually set up a Stripe account, and it is great for integration. You can use it to integrate into a lot of applications. If you want a video of how to set up Stripe, drop it down below, and I'll talk about everything step by step, how to set up a Stripe account, and how to get things flowing. Actually, to think about it, I might just go ahead and do that and add to the flow of this. All right, maybe do like a another video. All right, never mind. I'm thinking. Wait, so let's go ahead and set up my reserve account. All right, guys. So we are back. I'm about to show you. Earlier we got cut off, so I had to log back in. So here I am again. I'm gonna go back into the account that I was showing you. It's still on the review, so we're just waiting for the application to be approved. Hopefully they have everything they need, and we should be good to go. But here I'm gonna just do the reserve account like I was showing you, and I'm gonna just say, um, so this is gonna be the description, tax account, right? Tax, we're gonna just go ahead and do 10% right now, and then we're gonna do taxes. I'm gonna go ahead and save this. So now I have taxes. 10% of all deposits will go into the taxes. I'm gonna go ahead and do another one, and I'm gonna call this operating expenses. So this should be like a daily um, expenses. Actually, no, because the original account itself will be operating. So let's go ahead and do something like um, savings, but I'm gonna call this emergency, or just call it, yeah. So emergency savings, and then for the emergency, I'm gonna go ahead and put away another 10% in there and save those details. So there you go. So now I have 10% going into taxes, 10% into my savings. So now I have 80% left over. I'm gonna go ahead and do marketing. And for marketing, for marketing, I'm gonna just do 5% for marketing. And let's go ahead and do marketing right there. Save, key, and then I'm gonna do investment right there. I'm gonna do 10% for investments, and then from so it's gonna be like that. Investments as well. Save details. So now I have 10, 30, 35% out. So actually, this will show you how much you have left. So that's actually pretty cool because now it could show you only 65% of incoming funds is actually left over. So that's pretty cool. So I did my investments. So let's do innovation. And this is the one that I was talking about where this is for your future growth. So let's do that. We're going to put 7% into future development. We're going to put 7% into it. All right, so if we click on OK, so we have taxes, 10% going out in taxes, emergency, 10%, marketing, 5%, investments, 10%, and innovation. Did I miss any? So I got taxes, and then everything else now, if you do done, everything else will be deposited. So I have about a good 50 something percent because we had what 65 left over, and you take away 7 from it. So whatever the balance of that is left over. That's what's going to actually be in the account on the daily um, process. So that's how it would look. See, you can make edits, whatever. But I actually like this because this is a cool feature. So you can set this up from the get go and literally have all of your funds going into the account, and once it comes in, it actually separates it for you. So $100 comes in, 7% goes there, 10% goes to taxes. You know what I mean? Like I actually like the setup with Novo. So for like a small business starting off, I think this is a great bank that you can start off using until you can work your way into doing separate business accounts. So you can use one account right now and divide it up into reserves. Same concept, but it's just not bank accounts. It's just reserve accounts of it. So I hope you guys really enjoy this video. If you do, please go ahead and leave some comments below and let me know what you guys think about actually this bank. If you want me to do the Stripe the video later, also go ahead and comment. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget, like and subscribe, ring that bell so you can be notified when I post new videos. But as always, Happy New Year, guys. I hope everyone have a blessed and prosperous New Year, and let's get 2024 started with your business. Until then, stay tuned.